recording. Yeah. So until yesterday, we completed what are the different components of Tosca, what are the different files that will be installed, how to configure our license, how to request for it, what are the different sections available, how to create a single user environment workspace. Okay, and what are the different perspectives that are available in Tosca, and yeah, something about the project menu also. So this is what we discussed until until today. So any questions, any doubt till the topic whatever have we have discussed? No? Okay, great. So today let us talk all about the requirements. Yeah, okay. So if you observe, we have a section called requirements and it would be in yellow color. Okay, we can call it as yellow color section also in Tosca. So if you right click on your requirements and open this mini toolbar and click on this plus icon here, then it will be opened in the new window. The other alternative for this step is go to home menu, click on this section, select the requirements here. Even then it is opened as a floating window. So we have to dock it and so that we can use it. I already have it here, so I did not dock it. I closed that one. Okay. So now coming to the requirements. In Tosca, we have two types of requirements. One is functional requirements and the other one is the non-functional requirements. Okay, which are not related to the business and all. Let us talk about functional requirements now. Okay. So what usually what is the type of testing that we all perform? Uh, did anybody have experience in risk-based testing or priority-based testing here?
Yes, I mean, RBT is nothing but we are prioritizing our test cases.
Yes.
28.
Yeah. So all of us are doing the testing only, but even though we are doing our testing, most of the times we prioritize our test cases and then we will accordingly test. But we don't know that we are doing risk based or priority based testing, but still we are working on it, right? Usually, if you see as a manual tester also, in regression test cases and all, whenever they want you to run regression test cases, what is that you normally pick up? Whichever functionality will be coming up for most of the scenarios, or which is the key functionality, so that it will cover all the scenarios. You will look for that and first that specific functionality in your regression. Am I correct? So that is also a risk-based testing or priority testing. Okay. So now my question is, how do you know which functionality is having high priority or which functionality is the most risk-based one? Okay. And which functionality is having low priority? How can you categorize that particular one among your requirements? Anybody? Okay, let us take an example. Think like we all are working on testing of an e-commerce website. Okay, and in this particular e-commerce website, I have four test cases or four functionalities to be tested. The very first one is login functionality. The second one is the checkout and billing functionality. Third one is the wishlist functionality. And last one is logout. And I'm very much near to my deadline, and I want all of you to pick only two functionalities to test. Any two functionalities out of these four. So which two will we pick up?
Login and checkout.
Yes. Any others?
I mean, as checkout is related to billing, which is in turn related to revenues.
Yes. Because Checkout is the one which is doing all my business, and in order to do checkout, first I should log in. So these two are the key functionalities, and so that I'll pick up them. So here you are prioritizing your test cases, right? The test cases which are related to login and checkout are having high priority compared to the test cases which are having wish list and logout. Am I correct? So here this is nothing, you are a human, so you can analyze and you are giving, so this one is having this priority and this one is having this priority values, and accordingly testing that. But here when we are automating, this is a tool. Tosca is a tool, right? So how can Tosca analyze among all the requirements, this is the one I have to test and this is the one I should test at the least. So in order to tell the tool that which is the high priority one and which is the low priority one, we have a concept called weight here. Okay, and this weight is determined by using four factors, which is frequency class, damage class, frequency base value, and damage base value. There are four factors which are determining the weight of a particular requirement, and depending on the weight, Tosca will prioritize the test cases. If a requirement is having high weight, that means it is a high priority. If the test cases related to that particular requirement comes under the category of high priority test cases. If a requirement is having the low weight, that means the test cases should also be low prioritized. Like you can run them at any point of time later also, no problem. Okay, so this is how we prioritize. So all whenever in most of the interviews, whatever you attend later after learning this Tosca tool, they usually ask a tricky question like, did you perform this risk-based testing? Did you perform priority testing? Something like that. Just say yes. Yes, I did that. Then they'll ask you only one. Like, how did you do that? Yeah, we have weight column in our requirements. So depending upon the weight of our requirement, we prioritize our test cases, which one has to be executed at the beginning and which one has to be executed at the end. We use this especially for the regression testing. So this, if this is your answer, this is the perfect one. Okay. Let us see how we do that. Okay, so this is the requirement section. Whenever we go to any section, if we want to work on something, first we should create our own folder here. Okay, so if you right click on the requirements, see there is an option here. This is the folder option. Okay, or else in the requirements top menu also, here you can see a create folder option. Either you can click on this or this. Okay, and the shortcut is Control N, Control F. So I just clicked on this. See, a new folder has come up, and all I need to do is give some name to it. Okay, let us think that we all are working under a project called Amazon. Okay, so I just give my particular requirement over here. Or else, similarly, for suppose another project also I can take it up, like some BMW. Okay, so whatever I want, I can just create those many projects here. Okay, and let us see this one first. Okay, so in this BMW, this particular BMW project is producing both cars and bikes. Okay, so here again I am creating subfolders. Subfolders also I can create in the same way. Only thing is I have to right click on the particular folder in which I want to create my subfolder. So if I right click on BMW, see here I have an option. Or else from here also I can click. See from here. Okay, at this time I will show you from this side. Okay, so inside BMW. So one is all about the bikes and another one is all about the cars. So now inside these cars, think like we are working. There are so many types of, so many models of cars that they have, right? Let us divide based upon the number of seats for time being. Okay. So again, I'm creating another subfolder inside the car. I'll say it as some 5-seater, okay, and 7-seater, something like this. Okay. So again, if you go to particular 7-seater car, if you look at the requirements of a 7-seater car, what would be the requirements? It should have some 7 seats. It should have some so and so color. The fuel type should be like this, and the mirror should be like this. The car body shape should be this. It should have these many wheels, and this is the type of the wheels that we should use. So these all are the different requirements usually, right? So again, I can categorize my requirements into two sets, right? One, I can call it as external requirements, and another set I can call it as internal requirements. External will deal with the external look of the car, whereas internal will deal with the internal look of the car. Okay, so I'm categorizing all my requirements into two kinds here. So now, in order to create a requirement, always we should have a container. That container is nothing but we call it as requirement set. Okay, you cannot create a requirement without creating a requirement set. Okay, if you have requirement set, only there you can create a requirement. So now if I right click on my 7-seater folder here, okay, see what is the icon I am getting? Two triangles sort of an icon. You can see the icon clearly in this area. And if I mouse over on it, it says create requirement set. I don't have any other option here to create requirement. Okay, let me create requirement set. So I'm clicking on this icon. The shortcut is Control N, Control R. Okay, because we are creating new requirement. Okay, and or else you can click on this icon also here. So, and see now this is the requirement set. I'll just name it as external requirement set. So external. Okay, and if you observe now, this time whenever I am selecting my particular requirement, see the object that I got. This is nothing but the requirement. If you right click here, see, you can create requirement inside it. Before that, let us create one more requirement set. If you come to folder, all you have is requirement set. But if you come to requirement set, all you have is requirement. Okay, I am creating internal requirement. So now let us create some external requirements here. Okay, all I need to do is either I can right click and select the requirement icon or else directly click on this. The shortcut remains the same, Control N and Control R. If you are pressing Control N and Control R on a folder, it will create you a requirement set. If you are pressing the same Control N and Control R on a requirement set, it will create you a requirement. That's all. Okay. So yeah, coming to the external requirements, let us say some color, mm, body shape, mm, tires. Okay, I think these are enough. Similarly, in the internal requirements, steering, music, airbags, something. Okay, so I just randomly created some requirements here. Okay, now let us again click on the requirement set icon here and see the details window in this area. Am I clear till this step? Any questions, any doubts? Okay. So
Ramya,
yeah,
usually there are four types of the frequent class. One is damage class, other two are
I'll tell you.
okay.
I'll show you one now. Okay. Okay. Now this is the external requirement set. If you see the options here, see they have name, description, frequency class. I'm just dragging this icon a bit like this so that I can see it clearly. Okay. Or else the how we can set this is just right click on the column. Okay, these are all the different columns: name, description, frequency, class, and all. So right click on them. See here you have an option best fit all columns or best fit. If you say best fit, it will arrange the space for that particular column only. So better say for all columns. So now see, I can see all the columns clearly. Okay, this is how you can do. Okay, and if you are not satisfied with these columns here in the details window, we can add more columns. All you need to do is same. Right click on your particular column and there you will have a column chooser menu. So these are the additional columns that are available for this section. So if you want, you can add them. In order to add them, all that you need to do is just double click on them. I want details, so double click. See, it came up, and once done you can close it. If you don't want this, hold this details area, this one, just drag it to down. So when you drag it to down, you will get an into mark. Okay, see, now I got a cross mark here. So then release it so that that column will go off. This is how you play around with columns. Okay. For suppose if you want all the columns that are there in the column chooser, the another shortcut is go to this view menu and here you have show hidden columns option. If you click on it, see all columns came up here. See all. And if you want to hide them again back, click on this hide columns. See everything is gone. Show hidden columns. So this is how you play around. And if you don't want anything specifically, you just drag and drop it. Okay, and hide. So this is how we play around. Okay. Now let us see. Let us see what are the frequency class, what is damage class, what is weight and all. Okay. Now before I say you that whatever I say to you now is my weight is totally dependent upon four values. One is frequency class, another one is damage class, another one is frequency base value, and another one is damage base value. These are the four values on which my weight is totally dependent upon. But if you observe, I can see only two values here. One is frequency class and damage class, right? These two are not dependent on the requirements. These two are provided at the requirements level and these two are provided at the requirement set level. Okay, I'll show you what is what and all. And those two sit under the properties menu. If I want to open the properties of the requirement set, first I should select the requirement set and I should click on this particular small triangle and then drag it. Okay, so you can see the damage base value and frequency base value. Okay, here they are. Now let us see what is this frequency class, what is damage class. Frequency class is nothing but how many times that particular requirement is coming up. Like how many times it is going to repeat. For suppose if you take a login functionality, how many times will we should we test the login? Every time, right? In order to access the application, every time you will be using the login that is having which we use it more frequently, except during user registration. Every time we will use the login functionality for any application, right? So it has a high frequency. Similarly, if you take, let us take this our old example only to understand better. Okay, if you take the wish list functionality here, how frequent will we use that? Only like depends, right? Only if you are wish listing something, or if you want to go and shop something from your wish list, only then you are going to use the wish list functionality, right? And coming to logout functionality, even logout also we will use every time. Whenever we are logging and whenever we are logging in and working on something, every time we will do the logout also. So even login is having high frequency, logout has high frequency, and checkout obviously has high frequency, but wishlist has the low frequency. Am I correct? So same, in the same way, here also in Tosca, let us see this example. If you take a car, okay, when I am talking about color of the car, how many times will we see the color? Every time, right? Whenever we whenever, wherever we drive or whenever a new person comes, every time what is the first thing they observe? Color of our particular car. So frequency is also color is having a high frequency, right? So I'll give some number. Okay, actually this frequency in damage, they have certain value range. Okay, and the value range is 0 to 10 for this. 0 being the least and 10 being the highest. Okay, so now I'm giving some 8 here. Okay, I'm just giving it randomly. Okay, and the next one is body shape. Even this one is having high frequency, right? It determines my particular how comfortable I'm in my car. So I'll give it as 9. Okay, and similarly tires. Every time whenever I want to drive somewhere, obviously tires have a important function, right? So I can give it as 10. So these are the different frequencies of the cars. Okay, for suppose if you have something like headlights as one of the requirement. Okay, so what is the frequency that you are going to use headlights? Only when it is when we are having low light or something, when we are driving during nights, only then we will use headlights. During morning time, we are not going to use headlights. Am I correct? So I can say it like it is having a frequency of 5, right? Because only half of the time I use it and another half of the time I'm not going to use it. So this is how we determine the frequency. Any questions about frequency class?
Who will define all these requirements like frequency class, damage class, everything?
You are not the one who is going to decide all these requirements. Usually all these frequency class or damage class and all, right? These should be determined at a project level, not at a user story level. We are all testers as part of a team, and we will test the user stories related to a particular epic. But we don't know what is the end to end flow and what is our actual business requirements in total. We don't have such a view as a tester. Business analyst is the correct person who has such a view. So he is the one who designs our user stories from the epics also, right? So he is the correct person to give you all these values. Usually in most of the companies, we are not using this requirement section because we already have Jira or something, right? So in real time, most of the companies will not use this requirement section and all. But we all should know what is requirements, how are we going to assign values and all. So sometimes in interviews, if they come up with any question, or else in some companies, I think hardly one or two might use it. And I really don't see any company until now, wherever I worked, I never see requirement section used. Okay. So it depends. If they ask you to work on it, then you should be able to work. So that is the reason I am explaining this to you so that you can understand what is what, the basic things. Okay.
Okay.
And all these values, all these requirement details, requirement set details, everything will be given by your business analyst only. You need not worry. All you need to know is how to fill those values, where to fill those values, how to update them, and all. That's all. Any doubts with frequency class? Okay. Let's move on to the next one, that is damage class. Okay. Here we have the next one. This damage class is nothing but what is the damage it is going to incur to us if this particular requirement is malfunctioning or missing. Means if login functionality is not working, then how much damage is it going to cause me? Like, can I test the remaining functionalities? Except register, I can't test anything, right? Similarly, what if my color is damaged? My main target is to drive my car. If my color is damaged, can I drive my car? Yes, I can still, right? So this is not having much damage to me. I can just give it as 1 or else 0 also. Okay. But what if my tires are damaged? I cannot drive my car at all, right? I should stop wherever I am. I cannot use my car. So it is creating a huge damage for me or a huge loss for me, right? So for them, I can give it as 10 or for the damage class. So this is how you determine these values. And if you observe, whenever I am updating this frequency class, damage class values, the weight of that particular requirement is coming up automatically. See, okay, what if my body shape is damaged? Yeah, sometimes I may not be able to drive, sometimes I will be okay to drive. It depends again, it will cause a damage for me. So I'll just say it as 6. Okay, and if my headlights are damaged, I cannot drive during night time, but still I can manage. Right, so I am giving it as 4. See, depending upon these two values, my weight number is being decided. Tires are the very key function of my car because I will use them every time I go out, and also if they are damaged I can't move. So they have high frequency and high damage. So that is the reason they are having high weight as well. If you look at headlights, it has medium frequency and medium damage. So the weight is also like middle. Okay. If you look at some, okay, let me say, I'm just wantedly doing this. Okay. 1 and I will give this one also as 1. So if you observe, see, if I'm having least frequency and least damage, my weight is also the minimum number. So this is how these numbers are going to decide. Any questions about frequency class, damage class? Okay. The next one is how is this particular weight calculated? What is the formula? They have some formula for this weight calculation. Like during childhood times, we used to have, right, 2 to the power of 2 into 2 something. So, in the same way, here they have some formula such as damage base value to the power of damage class, okay, into frequency base value to the power of frequency class is the one that will determine your weight. Okay, now let us see what is this base values. These base values are present at the requirement set level as I already told you. If you click on requirements, you cannot see your base values. If you click on your requirement set, only then you can see the base values. Okay, and these base values are having a value range of 2 to 10. For suppose in your entire project, if your project is having main focus on the damage only, like Okay, so then you can increase this damage base value. You can say it as 6. So what will happen then is all the requirements whichever are having, okay, let me do in one way. I'll have this frequency class as 1 and this damage class as 9. Okay. Similarly, this frequency class has 9 and this damage class has 1. Okay. Now let's see. Initially both the damage and frequency base values are 2, right? Okay. So now observe the weight of these two. It is 1024, 1024. Okay. Either it is having low frequency and high damage, high frequency and low damage, the weight is same. Okay. And now I'm saying like my project is more focused on the damage rather than the frequency. So I'm increasing my damage base value. So what will happen is the requirements which will cause damage will obviously have a high priority compared to the requirements which are talking about the frequency. See here, if you see, both these should have the same weight, but now I changed the base values, right? So the requirement which is having high damage class value is having more weight compared to the requirement which is having high frequency value. Did you understand the difference? No? Yes. Should I repeat it again? Okay. See, nothing. Actually, this weight column is the one which is decided by using these four values. Frequency class, damage base value, and frequency base value. What happens is if you are saying, okay, if you are saying that your project is more focused upon the damage, means I'm much worried about the if it is causing any damage and all rather than if the functionality is repeating and all. So I will increase my damage base value. So what will happen is if earlier when I have both these values are same, damage base value and frequency base value are same, if you observe, though this requirement has low frequency high damage and this requirement has high frequency and low damage, but still they have both the weights as same. Okay. Now if I am changing, okay, I am saying I am more concentrated on frequency rather than the damage that it is causing. So I will say this one as 7. So what happened here? The one which is having high frequency is having the high weight. Okay, though these two values are same exactly. Okay, the only change is position in the numbers. Okay, but still the one which is having high frequency is the one which is having high weight. So this is how this damage base value and frequency base value are playing their importance. Any questions? Any doubts till this point? Did you understand now? Okay, I think it's yes. Okay, so this is how we determine these base values and these weights. Okay, what if suppose if we give wrong values in frequency class section? Okay, if you are giving some wrong values, for suppose the value range is 0 to 10, instead of giving a number from 0 to 10, if I give some value like this 100, see the value you entered for frequency class is out of range. This is the error that you are going to get. Okay, and similarly, if I enter some text here, I can't. I'm typing on my keyboard, but I can't enter any text. I can't enter even a special character also. Okay, and here also if you see instead of damage base value I gave some long number, it will take the maximum automatically 10. Okay, what if I enter some text here? then it will not change. It will remain the same. Okay. You cannot change. This is the determined value range. Like this one should have a minimum of 2 to 10, and for this it is 0 to 10. Okay. Okay. So actually, yeah. So this is all about the weight, frequency class, and damage base value and frequency base value. If you observe, along with the weight, we have some other columns also here, like contribution percentage, relative weight, coverage specified, required test cases, details, blah blah. Right. So let us just have a quick look on them as well. What is this contribution percentage is? This is nothing but how much this particular requirement is contributing to my requirement set. This value is also determined based upon the weight of your requirement. If your requirement is having high weight, that means it is contributing more percentage. If your requirement is having low weight, it is the least contributed one. In order to get this value populated, you should calculate it. Okay. So if you observe, whenever we change any values, usually you will get a small blue color icon here near your requirement set. Okay. And if you mouse over on this, you can see values are outdated. Press F6 to recalculate. Okay, this is the message I get when I am just mouse overing over it. Okay, so if you want to calculate these values, one way is directly press on this update outdated values. The other way is right click and say update outdated values, or else the shortcut is F6 button. Okay, and see, once you click on this update outdated values, you will get a pop-up saying updation may take some time. Do you want to start the calculation? Just say okay, it will be done. And see now, it is done. And that particular icon has gone. And see, I can see the contribution percentage also. Tiles is having high frequency and high damage, right? So that is the reason it is having contribution of 70 percentage. Okay, and headlight is having medium frequency and medium damage. So that is the reason it has contribution of only 6%. But we are having high frequency base value, high damage base value, right? So that is the reason if you observe this one is having high damage. Okay, okay, I changed this value. 1 minute. Whenever I change any value, right, I should do this update. Okay, 1 second. I'll just keep this one to 2 and this one to 9 as per our previous discussion. 1991 10 10 5 4, and I will have one more requirement. I'm just creating some dummy requirement, and for this I'll give 1 and 1, so that we have all high, medium, low, and this is the alternative frequency damages. Okay, and now let us calculate. And see now, just minimizing this. Okay, so if you observe now, these are having frequency and damage as an alternate numbers like 1 9 and 9 1, but still I have high damage base value for this requirement set. My damage base value is 9, whereas my frequency base value is just 2. So that is the reason this one has more weight. So that is the reason, see, this one has got more contribution. Okay, compared to this and this, again, this is having more weight than this, right? So it has a contribution of 63 percentage. So how they calculate is they just sum up this entire weight and they see how much percent is this number contributing against that. Okay, it is a normal calculation only, whatever we do in our subjects and all, in our progress cards. Okay, so same way, 8% is what it is contributing. This is contributing to 0.01%. Okay, and this one is 63.52%, something like this. So this is nothing but how much this particular requirement is contributing towards my requirement set. And the next column is coverage specified and execution state. These we will discuss at the later point. This is because against this particular requirement, I can develop my test cases, right? Usually I will develop the automation test cases. And once these automation test cases are developed by us, we can map them against this requirement. Means these are the test cases for this particular requirement. And when we map them automatically, it will say like how many test cases do you want, and out of this how many are developed, how many are actually in working, and how many are in progress. And again, if you take how many are completed, again how many are executed, and how many passed, how many failed. If they are failed, what are the defects that are linked up. So all these details can be linked to each other. Okay, and let us do this once we come to some point, like once we complete developing of our test cases. Right now we are not doing that because we don't know still how to develop test cases. Okay, and if you see this relative weight, this is also the same formula. Like for contribution percentage, whatever value you have, you will get a similar one here. Okay, this relative weight plays a key role when we map the test cases. Okay, this one we will discuss at that point of time. And this details also all about the test cases only. All these are the ones which are related to test cases is what I can say. See, coverage executed, test case design complete. Okay, coverage requirement. What is the type of the requirement that you are working on, and what is the aggregate weight that you have. All these values will populate once we map the test cases. Any questions? Any doubts still here? No? This is all about requirement section, and you can pull reports on your requirement section also. Usually once we fill out all these test cases and all, right? Usually they pull out the reports on this in order to see the project view, like how out of these many requirements, how many test cases are automated, what is the percentage of their coverage, how many are executed and all. So in order to view these details, they usually pull out a report on this. How do we pull out a report is usually you can all you need to do is right click on your particular requirement set, and here you will have an option that is print report. And in this print report, see, these are the three different types of reports. If you want some other new report, yes, you can configure it in the reporting section and you can design your specific report. But these reports are the ones which are pretty much useful. I think these cover most of the things. Like if I want about any issues and all, I can pull a report on the requirement set with linked issues. Similarly, if I want to talk about the contributions and all, I can pull a report about this contribution overview. Okay, just click on one of the type and immediately you will be provided with this icon. So this says which format do you want? Usually we prefer PDF format. Okay, and you can just say start here. And then you can show which folder do you want to pull this particular report under. Okay, so I'll navigate to the folder whichever I want. Okay, and I'll give some name to my report and I'll say save. See, this is the report. This report has been created by admin on so and so date, and this is the requirement. Out of this, this is the contribution, and this is the execution percent. This execution percent is right now gray shaded because We did not map any test cases and we did not execute them. So that is the reason it is gray shaded. Okay, and if you go down here, that's all. You can just play around with this. Any questions, any doubts till this point? No? Yes. Okay. Okay. This is all that I want to discuss today. Okay. Please complete installations of Tosca and also please complete until this point. From Monday, we will talk about the actual automation. So we will start with modules and all. Okay. So until now, whatever has I have covered, okay, these are not much important topics which you come across in your day-to-day life. These are the ones which you should know, okay, in order to use Tosca in a better way. That's all. No, nothing is specific. Okay. So please complete your installations. That is our main focus. Thank you everyone. Thanks for your time. Bye bye.
You.